Hello everybody. I get a lot of questions, asking what program I use to record my speed paints, and I thought, hey, that's probably a pretty decent thing to put into a video since I get asked it so often. So I've actually used two different softwares in the past. I've used the Livestream Procaster and then Open Broadcast software. Both of these, if you notice, are streaming programs. They're for, recording what's on your screen and then broadcasting it over the internet. Because whenever I tried to find screen capture softwares, they always have a little watermark unless you pay for them. And I was like, I don't really feel like paying for anything. So I did a little bit of research and I found these two programs, which are both free and they don't leave any sort of watermark, which is awesome. Especially if you're drawing something, you don't really want a watermark. It's just not professional and it makes you look cheap. But with these two programs, you can be cheap without looking cheap. Now you might be worried, oh, I don't want to stream what I'm recording, I just want to record it and save it. And the thing is, both of these have that option in them. You just have to look through the settings. So first I'm going to go over the Livestream Procaster. So if we click on it, we get this little icon here. The problem with Livestream Procaster is you do have to have a Livestream account, which is a website for streaming, to be able to use this program. So here I'm already logged in, which is wonderful. So that's a bit of a con. The reason this program is free is because it is a live streaming website that's associated with it, and you need the software to stream on that website. And when you do stream on that website, it plays ads. So they're still getting money, and that's why they can provide such a useful program without you having to pay for it. Another problem is this software does use a little bit of memory, so your computer can be slow. So if you have a computer that's not quite fast, this program might not be your best fit. Also, this program has since been retired. Livestream has moved on to a program called Livestream Producer. I've never used the program, so I'm not going to go over it, but I do have a link in the description where you can download the Procaster instead of Producer, and yeah, you can find that down below. So you can still download it and use it. I think what I've looked at is the programs look basically the same, so they probably have the same options. So this tutorial might work with Producer, but just for the record, I'm using the Livestream Procaster. So when we first bring it up, we need to set it so that it's not going to just stream out to the world and we're going to keep it ourselves. So what we're going to do is hit Preferences, and this window pops up. And first uncheck this little button, which is when it goes live, and we don't want it to go live, so if we uncheck that, and then just make sure it looks like this, and there shouldn't be much of a problem. The other settings we need to adjust is go into Desktop, and here you can click to make it show the mouse or not, whether you like it that way. I don't really like to show the mouse when I'm doing speed paints because so much stuff's happening already. I feel like a mouse getting in the way is a little ugly, but I mean, that's just personal preference. And then also you need to hit this one, Save Video to File. That is so that we can record what we're capturing off our screen and it will save it somewhere so you can use it. Then you'll just choose your location and you can save it in here wherever you need it. And ta-da! There you go. You've got a place to, now you have it set up so that you're capturing the screen and you're saving it into a location that you'll be able to find. Just make sure you're putting that somewhere where you will be able to find it. Sometimes just making a folder on the desktop is good, and then it's just right there. Otherwise, if you have a place where you keep videos, that's good too. And then just make sure you hit save so that we keep all those options. And now we're about ready to stream, and well, we're not streaming, we're recording. And to record, you just hit this go live button. I know it says live, but you've got it set so it's not going to go live, so don't worry. So we just hit that, and then it's going to start loading up. And here we have our options while streaming or recording, like we are. So this little menu bar at the bottom, you don't really want that to show. That looks a little tacky, so you can hit minimize. And then to bring it back, you'll just hit it down on the desktop. However, if you see, it says CPU above 80%, so it's already, it's not happy. It's recording just fine. But because it is such a hefty software, it's probably not your best bet if you have a slower computer, like I said before. And then the other thing they can do here is adjust where you're capturing. See these green blocks? That's telling you the window of your screen capture. So if you want to do the full screen, you just grab them and drag however you want it. I like to keep it smaller. I think I had it at 1250. I don't know if I can get it there. 1250, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, you can select your window, and that's how you would crop it. And you can also use these zoom in and zoom out buttons. And like I said, always minimize that because it just looks tacky. So that program's pretty easy to set up and get yourself going. I'm gonna go move on to Open Broadcast software now, which has a few more settings you need to adjust. Alright, so let's open Broadcast software. And this is what will come up. This pretty ugly, bland, you know, it's not aesthetically pleasing, but it's got everything you need. And what's cool about this program is it is, you know, an open source program, which means many people have had their hands in this and have been creating it slowly to where it is at today. But because it is an open source program, these programs are in beta for a long time. See, this is version 0.64b. So it hasn't even been like released fully yet. So it can have a bit of bugs. But I haven't had any problems with the software yet. I do like that you don't need an account to use this program. So if you're just going for something quick, that's perfect. And there are some really cool, you know, little tidbits in this streaming software that I do want to show you, which is really cool. Also, if we look at this, the start streaming button doesn't even work. And let me show you why. So if we go into settings, if we ever click settings, or you can just hit the settings button down here, it brings up these options. And the ones we're going to need is somewhere here, video, I believe. So you're just going to set the resolution you want. I have 1920 by 1080, but depending on how, you know, fast your computer is, you might need a smaller resolution. Also, like, check what size your monitor is. And I like to film in 30 frames per second, so I have that there too. Also, you'll need to go to broadcast settings. Here you can choose to either live stream or just do file output, which is what we want to do. We want to record it locally, so we're going to leave it on file output only. Then you just select where you want to put it and what name you want it to be, and that way you'll be able to find it. So make sure you name it somewhere you'll be able to find. So we have here, I have it in Speedpaint, and then you'll be able to find it later when you need it. These are the settings I have in the encoder. I'm not sure. I believe I had to look it up to figure out what numbers to put in here because it's so complicated and I don't know a lot about bitrate or codec. But these are my settings. I thought I'd just throw that in there. Again, I believe if your computer is faster or slower, you might need smaller numbers or larger numbers. I don't know. But anyway, once you have all of your broadcast settings and encoding and video stuff set up, we just hit OK. Now we can start recording. However, we don't know what we're recording. So that is why here I'm going to create all new scenes and sources. So before you can start recording, you do need to add a scene. So we'll hit add scene. You're just right clicking in the scene list here and then we'll hit add scene. Then you get to name it. We'll name it tutorial. Okay. So now we have no sources because inside each scene you need sources, and sources are what's going to feed the scene, and the scene is your end result of the picture, if that makes sense. So for sources, we're going to hit right click, add, and we're going to hit monitor capture, which is just going to record the entire monitor, which is what we want. And you can either leave it that name or name it something specific if you need. Okay, and then this window pops up. So you can have more than one monitor, but I only have one, so it's going to be recording that one. And then again, you can select whether you want it to show the mouse cursor, and if you want to capture layered windows and such. I haven't really noticed that that does anything for me, but yeah. And then it has all these other options. I don't usually mess with them because they're not really that important to me, and it works fine without it. Opacity, of course, is going to, you know, lower the opacity of what you're recording, and you don't want that. You want it at 100%, obviously. So we're just going to hit OK because it's exactly the way I want it. And then it likes to tell you about your arrow and your frames per second. If you have a slower computer, make sure you do disable that, which is very important. And then if we hit preview stream, it's going to show us what we see. And if you see this, you see we have this I just said C like 3 times. Anyway, we have this huge block of black, which we don't want inside our stream. And if we actually hit edit scene, we can change the sizes of things, which is awesome. I really love this feature of being able to preview what you're recording, which is fantastic if you ask me. So what's also really, really cool about this program is that you can, you know, almost do a little bit advanced editing. If you're using like Windows Live Movie Maker or something else cheap like that to edit your videos, and you can't add a watermark, and watermarks are pretty important when it comes to creative things, so I'm going to show you how to add a watermark inside of your screen capture. So it's actually going to be adding the watermark, and it'll all be done by the end, and then all you have to do is speed it up. So it's, again, go to our sources, right click that, hit add image, and we're going to name that watermark. Okay. And then here you just browse for the image. Here, I'm going to use my logo. Again, you can change the opacity if you want to lower the opacity of your watermark or such. I'm going to leave it out the way it is because that's not, I want it to be pretty obvious. Oh, whoa, way too obvious. Way too big. So we're going to go back to make sure edit scene is selected, and then we can shrink it down because no one's even going to be able to see what we're drawing if it's that big. Okay. So here we go, and then we could just maneuver it wherever you want. I like to put my watermarks in the bottom right-hand corner. A little bit smaller. There we go. Perfect. So now we actually have a watermark built in while we're recording, which is fantastic, which I've already said, but I think that's really awesome. I mean, I have editing software, so I don't need to do that now, but if I had known about this in the past, that would have been great. Back before I had some kind of editing software. So now I am ready to go. I am ready to start recording. Also, if you just want to go over that, you can actually add all of these different options. You can just add text to your recording, and it's pretty cool. What I also like to mention is that you can actually just capture a window. So say, here, we'll just start one up. You want to record just one window so that when you're drawing and you turn on like the internet and you want to look at references, that it won't record the references. It'll only record your drawing software. However, here, let me pop this up. If you're using Photoshop, it really doesn't work. We'll just select Photoshop just to show you. Even with captured layers on and all that stuff, it doesn't work. Like if you look at this, if we look behind here, you can see in our monitor capture, you can see the actual canvas that we want to draw on. However, if you look at our monitor or our window capture, it doesn't show that, and it never will, and I really don't know how to get it to work except to use your monitor capture. So I don't use that. However, if you have like Paint Tool Sci or some other program, it might work. I don't know. I've never tried it, but it's a little frustrating. But for the most part, for something free, you can't really complain. So I really like this program, and I use it a lot. And then when you're ready to start recording, you just hit, well, you gotta stop the preview, then hit start recording, and ta-da, look, we're recording, and you're all set to go. As long as you remember where you put the files. So, yep. And now you can just start your Speedpaint. Ta-da! Thanks for watching. I'll draw this person waving to you. There you go. There you go. But thanks for watching. I can't wait to see some of the speed paints you guys create. Thanks for watching. And I hope this helped, and I hope you're able to make speed paints now, because it's really cool to create speed paints of like the stuff you're drawing now, and then you're able to look back at it in the future and see how much you sucked and how much you've improved. Watching. See, that's why I shouldn't talk and write at the same time. Oh, I did it again. There. I'm supposed to say it watching. Thanks for watching. Guys, okay. I'll see you guys all next week, and have a delicious evening full of waffles. Bye!